So I'm really happy to be here with you guys, Emily Bocking and Linda Whitaker, who were the brains behind our online course called Grant Writing 101. And this is a chance for us to have a little bit of a conversation about the course and for people to meet you guys who did all of the work on this and created this. I'm wondering, Emily, I'll start with you. I'm wondering if you'd like to tell us what inspired you to create the program.
Um, I think the most interesting thing that's out there right now is that there's so many grants and lots of money available, but not every organization has the tools or the means to work one-on-one with consultants. And so this was created to really help those smaller charities and those smaller groups that have the will, but maybe not the means.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And Linda, what's your perspective? Why did you want to be part of the project?
Well, there was an event, there was a large grant that came out a year or two ago, and we noticed that it was dependent on timing. So organizations that got their applications in earlier were more likely to be successful. And we realized that the smaller organizations that weren't as well prepared, that weren't as well staffed, but probably needed the money more, were falling to the back of that queue. And so by doing a course where smaller organizations have a opportunity to improve themselves in terms of being able to fulfill those grant or engage in those grant writing opportunities, really seemed like a kind of a win-win and an easy way to help bring up that level of capacity within organizations.
Yeah, that's great. And for those of you listening, Emily and Linda are two of our grant gurus on the team at Key Canada and have such a deep amount of experience working with people who are looking to write successful grants or more successful grants. And it's been really interesting for me to see and hear from these two that we hear often kind of the same questions or the same issues that come up. So I'm really excited that we have this program so that people can access the information to help them write better grants and be more successful with and at their own pace as they need it. What are some of the kind of secret tips that might be embedded in here that you wanted to make sure was included in the program?
The secret thing that I really loved was helping you assess whether or not a grant was a good fit for you, so that even before you get to investing all of that time and energy and get to the end and realize, oh, no, this does not fit. We're not, like, the likelihood of us being successful is nothing or not likely. You can kind of stop before you even really get going, right? Like, and it helps you sort of assess whether or not the grant fits who you are and what you need, and helps you that way.
I think the real tip that I have been using recently is reaching out to the funders before applying and starting to really have a conversation with them even before the application is undertaken, to, like Emily says, make sure it's a good fit, but also to get some feedback that will help make the application process easier, and that your likelihood of success would be higher.
One of the things that I think is really helpful here is being able to give those kind of inside tips that we hear people don't always just even think about when they're doing grants. I spoke to someone who signed up for the grant program not too long ago, and she said, "Oh, Kathy," she said, "I haven't finished it yet, but I listened to the first three, and that gave me the confidence to apply for 3 grants, and I was successful." And that to me is a huge win, to be able to give people even that okay, I'm not crazy, or I'm not alone, and this is going to be okay. I know the basics, and I'm just going to get out there and try some, is part of what I see and hope that people will take away from it. We're already giving some kind of tips here in terms of what people can learn. And certainly, Linda, as you say, building a relationship with a funder and understanding what their goals are is a big deal. Understanding the potential return on investment and whether or not it's even worth applying for a grant before you put all the work into it is another one, as Emily mentioned. And for me, one of the big things to think about in that area is whether or not a grant is going to make you poorer as an organization, and whether or not you've got some contribution to kind of the operational costs of your organization is another big one for me. There's also some really great templates that you've included in there. And that's the other thing that I'm excited that we provide to people as far as their sources. I just also want to give a shout out as part of this to Humanity Financial, because they have created a spreadsheet of upcoming grants for some of their particular audience. And this will be shared on that website. And I would encourage people to really take a look at that spreadsheet. It's a really important gift to the sector, but also I think once you have a sense of who you might be applying for, this is a really good companion to that, is to be able to take this program and be able to understand and learn how to be most effective in doing those grant applications. Building on that a little bit, what kind of grants don't you recommend people apply for?
I have two general answers. One is anything that doesn't actually serve your ultimate mission and vision. So anything that's kind of like, oh, this is good money and we sort of do this work, and so let's apply because then we can, then we'll have the money. That's a grant I would not recommend applying for. And then the second one, what is anyone who, oh, I guess I got three. Anyone who doesn't give you enough money for overhead for supporting their reporting needs. And the last one is anyone who, oh no, I forgot it. Oh yeah, anyone who's requiring you to basically drop a kidney or leave a leg behind for reporting for a very small amount of money. Like if you have to do 6 reports for $10,000, like pass, hard pass.
Yeah. No, those are great points. Anything else to add to that, Linda?
The ones I would not apply for are, yeah, so there's a couple. One is sometimes I'll see a grant and I'll think, oh, I could spin our organization into that grant. How hard could it possibly be? And that's usually when I have to like wait a day or two and realize, well, actually, if I have to spin that hard, it's not really a fit, and to move on to something else. The other that I'm wary of, or you just want to take a good hard look at prior to applying, is grants that offer, say, 50% of funding, and making sure, like solidly sure, that you actually have the other 50%, and not, oh, I'll get this grant, I'll get my 50%, and then I'll figure the rest out later. Sometimes that can help if you've got, deep pockets and a bit of a fallback, but for the most part, I see a lot of organizations really getting themselves into a quandary, and a lot of stress, creating themselves a lot of stress, because then they're going out and fundraising or something after the fact, and it's difficult. So just taking a good hard look at those ones prior to.
Those are great suggestions. And then my last question for you is, who do you think would benefit from taking this program?
Anybody could take it as a refresher, even if you've been in there in the trenches for a long time. I think the portion on abundance mindset is really useful to remind yourself of at least every few years, if not, daily. Others definitely are, as Emily mentioned, or Kathy, the people who want to increase their level of confidence. So whether that's you're just starting out and you want to try for some, or you've been working at a certain level and you want to kind of up the game, I think anybody who wants that increase in confidence about how to approach a grant or a funder is going to benefit.
I think also the way we try to build this is as a companion to a grant opportunity, so that you can work through the workbook and come out with the right pieces to put into your grant. So I think it's a really good option for new fundraisers who are starting out, who are like, what is this grant thing anyway? And definitely for anyone who's in the trenches, a small shop who just need that additional backup or that enhancement to the work that they're already doing.
Well, I'm really grateful to the two of you for doing the work to put this together, and sharing the expertise that you have. So thanks so much. And hopefully those who are watching will get a lot of benefit out of the program.